When you mentioned cooking, the first thing that popped into my mind and was the way that I cook. My wife and I both cook. She cooks very differently than I do. She follows a recipe. And if it's one of her recipes and she wants me to cook, I have to follow her recipe exactly. Right. The way I cook is I can't repeat the same recipe twice because I just cook off the cuff, right? I just like, all right, I think this will taste good and I think this will taste good. Do you think that research has been happening that way? It's kind of more ad hoc in the past where they're
Yeah,
not using real process scientific method to say, hey, we want to make sure that this is repeatable where we can build or make something better. Is that how it's been?
yeah. So first of all, the analogy is perfect. I'm going to use it from now on. So I'm much more
Oh,
like
thanks.
your. I'm much more like your wife. You're kind of more like the artist type of cook,
I'm
and
the artist. Yeah.
and definitely product development has the combination of the two. And also people that do it, there's different types of people, right? There are scientists that are much more systematic, like your wife and me. And there are scientists that, like the crazy scientists you can imagine from movies with
That
like
would be,
big,
yeah.
yeah, and those
The
exactly.
hair all like this. Yeah. That's how I am when I cook.
Yeah, and those will be more intuition. And I think progress in science really requires the combination of the two, right? Like maybe breakthroughs for real breakthroughs, you often the scientific method of being very systematic won't get you there as fast, right? You really have to try something completely new, right? Like these conductors we've been hearing of that have been discovered, where they go into, it might be completely wrong, but they went into an area that nobody even thought of looking at, right? And you probably won't reach that if you really follow, what really, tweaking and changing. So it's really a combination of the two, like a beautiful analogy.
Well, so what's important though in this whole thing, even especially when you have intuition driven developers, right, or researchers, right? They're just going off the cuff. You need to capture what they've done, otherwise it's not repeatable, right? And that's a problem that we have. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. So that we call it like knowledge loss or knowledge preservation. So that's a really big problem, right? And it's not only about people leaving, right? So when you think of knowledge loss, you think of maybe people, going to pension and then leaving the company, and that knowledge is lost. But it's sometimes even the same scientist, right? The same R&D engineer performing some experiments, and then the next year they have to do something similar, and since they
And they
haven't
can't do
stored
it.
yeah, since they haven't stored in one place, they have to start all over again.